There are over 500,000 kids in foster care across the United States, and making sure they're well taken care of takes a village. I'm Erin Lindstrom, and this is Foster Care Aware, a production brought to you by Tidewater Friends of Foster Care with support from the Barry Robinson Center. If you've had it on your heart to become a foster parent, volunteer, donor, advocate, or just want to learn more, you're in the right place. For more information on how to move forward, head to fostercareaware.org/next steps. And now I'm thrilled to share today's segment with you. Welcome. I am Erin Lindstrom. I am here with Audra Bullock and BeBe Tran from Commonwealth Catholic Charities. And we are here to give you a really cool session about what CCC does. So BeBe, welcome. Could you please introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us a little bit about CCC?
Hi, my name is BeBe Tran. I am the foster parent specialist for Commonwealth Catholic Charities. I have been with Commonwealth Catholic Charities for 33 years. My job is to go out and find foster families. I do a lot of recruitment, and I meet with foster families after word and also schedule for training. I am also a trainer as well, and then I will walk them through the home study process.
Awesome.
Wonderful. BeBe, thank you so much for being with us. Can you tell us a little bit more about the specific work that Catholic Charities does?
CCC has a very unique foster care programs. We not only provide services for DSS children, domestic foster care, but we are one of the agencies in the state of Virginia to provide foster care services for international children. These are refugee children. We started this program in 1982 when there was a lot of refugee children that flee their home country because of fear of persecution, mostly due to their religion, political opinion, or their national origin. So these children left their home country with their whole family intact. And during the escape, during the journey, they got separated from their birth families, mom and dad. Sometimes they just flee by themselves or have their sibling with them. So these children move toward a safe zone, usually the neighbor country. Once the refugee arrive into neighbor country, United Nations would set up refugee camp along the border to protect these vulnerable children. So they moved the children into a safe area, and they would looking for family members, or somebody would claim them as a part of that family. If they are young, under 10 years old, most likely there will be somebody that know the child during the journey and would claim them as a part of a family. But if they are older, especially older teens, nobody want to, have them as a part of family. So United Nations would classify them as unaccompanied refugee minors, and that's how they are qualified to come into foster care programs. So that's how we get them through that system.
Wow.
Incredible work.
Really.
And then once they arrive into Richmond, we would go into court and file for legal custody of them. So that's the unique part of our international program, is that we do actually have legal custody of these children. And once they in our custody, they can be in our foster care program until they turn 21. So it's the long-term foster care. So when we're looking for foster family, we do looking for a forever home for these children, since they don't have any parents here in this country.
Wow, that is really moving and amazing. Yeah. So you were saying that there are a lot of kids who are the older teens. Do you have are the children that come in through CCC, are they full range of age, or is it mostly teenagers?
Majority of our children are teenagers. Okay. When we get referrals, if we get 2 referrals, one under 10 years old and one like 15 and 16, most likely we will accept the 15, 16s before the 10, because we know for children under 10, that child will not have any problem finding somebody to accept them, but it's harder to find for 15, 16. So we are known around the country for taking in more difficult, high risk, and older teens. because
I see.
once they turn 18, they are not qualified to come into foster care, then they are by themselves and resettle by themselves. So this way we want to give them an opportunity to be in a family and able to go to school, able to attend high school.
Right. So BeBe, I have a question about what kind of foster parents are you looking for? Are they around the Richmond area, or are they across the state, or are they across state lines?
Only in the state of Virginia. Since we are licensed only to do foster care in Virginia. Since we are the only agency in Virginia doing this, so our main office is in Richmond. We do have a branch office in Roanoke and Norton, but right now we are branching out in the eastern part of Virginia. So we are looking for families in Hampton Roads and Norfolk. So we do have a satellite office, one in Norfolk and one in Hampton Roads. We currently have 2 families right now, one in Newport News and one in Portsmouth. So we want to branch out in that area and have more support, because I know that one important thing for these children, international children, is that once they arrive here, we have to place them in the ESL program, English as Second Language. And that area, Hampton Roads, Virginia Beach, and Norfolk have wonderful ESL systems. So we want to build a support for the 2 current active foster family. So we not only looking for foster family, but we want to build a support system for them as well. So like volunteer tutors and mentors to help with our children out in that area.
Wonderful.
Amazing. When these children come into foster care, is there a road to adoption for them?
The international children, because their parents' parental rights would never be terminated. These children are not from neglect and abuse. Some of them might came from that background, but that's not the reason why they came into care. So when you go into court, if there is no termination of parental right, the judge will not able to grant these children for adoption. So they can only be in long-term foster care, because you never know, someday down the road, their parents might be able to escape and want to claim their children back. Our goal, our main goal for our program is reunite the children back to their birth families. 2 goals, and then also help them maintain their culture, heritage, and their religion, because that's when these children flee because they fear of their persecution of the religion that their family, their faith. So we want to be able for these children to return back home and not, terminate their parental rights. Some of our children told us that they even witnessed the killing of their own parents. But as long that they came without their death certificates, judges in Henrico County would not accept just their words, because later on, maybe their aunts and uncles or even older siblings able to adopt them down the road. So, during the journey, they can't just stop and say, hey, can you issue me a death certificate? Most of them came to us just the clothes on their back and nothing else.
Wow.
Amazing work you do. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We are a small agency, faith-based, and not a lot of people outside of Richmond heard about us. So I want to have this opportunity to let the communities know that we work with this very small, vulnerable children that just need an opportunity to build a new life again here in the U.S.
Amazing.
So BeBe, about how many children do you have come through your custody each year?
From the refugee, because of the limited allowing refugee to come into the country. So we probably have about a dozen, 12, between 12 to 15 children came in as refugee.
And principally teens. And do you ever find that you don't have enough parents to place these children?
We don't have enough families to take these children. Once we got the referral from our referral source, we have to have a family that already went through our training process and home study process and get approved and waiting for the call. So when we get a call, we have to have a family before we can accept that referral. And we constantly need more families, because once we have a family, then we can accept more. That's the reason why we only have the referral that about a dozen or 15, a year, because we don't have enough foster family willing to take them. Some of the challenges is because these children that we have from all over the world, so they don't speak English when they first arrive, and also, we are Catholic agency, but the clients that we serve is from all over the world. They are not Catholic. They can be Muslim, Hindus, Buddhists, Christian, but not necessarily all Catholic. So we're looking for family that willing to take in children from different faiths.
Do the families that come to you to be licensed, do they need to be Catholic, or can they be of any faith?
No, they don't have to be Catholic.
Okay, I think that's important. It's a misconception, so it's wonderful to hear that maybe more people will actually step up just by knowing that in itself.
Yeah, well, we're looking for family that open for a diverse group of children, accept children from different faith, different culture, because it's a big adjustment, and and willing to work with teenagers.
And what supports do you have for families that receive a child, to take placement of a child that don't speak the language that child speaks? I presume there are supports that can help a family to navigate, because I'm sure it's disorienting just being in the foster care system for the child, being in a new placement, and then not speaking the language of their parents.
Yes. Well, our pre-service training, foster parents training, we provide a lot of suggestions and tips on how to work with children from different culture and not speaking the same language. Our staff here are very bilingual as well. And we also have the refugee resettlement program when we have interpreters. If not, we also use online interpreters working with family as well. It's required for us, especially when we take them to court or to the doctors. We want to make sure that the child understand their rights and able to express their feeling as well. But because our children are very resilient, most of our children speak are bilingual. They probably been in the refugee camp at the neighbor country for years and years before they're able to come here to the US. So they pick up that language. So once they come into our program and we place them in American or English speaking families, the only way for them to survive is pick up the language. We pretty much place them in school the next day after they arrive here. So place them in the only English-speaking family, they have to learn the language pretty fast. Majority of our children, really, they don't need interpreter after between 3 to 6 months. They can pick up the language pretty fast. Yeah, especially for younger children. We do have younger children also came into our program. It's not only teenagers, but usually if they are younger, especially girls, they would come as a sibling group. So we do have sibling group of 2, 3, and 4. At one point, we accept a sibling group of 7. The oldest brother came to us by himself, but he said he had 6 other younger siblings separate from him when they escaped, and they was in different refugee camps. And later on, we able to find them and brought them here. So at one point, a foster family took in 7 of them in her home. She converted her 2-car garage into a bedroom and accommodate with 2 bunk beds and have them all in one home. And that's also our goal, is keep family intact.
Siblings together. Yeah.
That's amazing. Approximately how long does it take? So when people come to you and they are interested in fostering in this way, about how long does the certification process take?
Once they attend or start attending training until approval is average between 4 to 6 months.
Okay.
is not a quick process,
Mm-hmm.
but the reason for it is training is 10 sessions. Right now, actually, I am going to do the webinar training. So it's probably going to be 5 meetings to cover 10 sessions. And once they complete with training, then we will do the home study process. Home study process gave us an opportunity to know about the family, what they can handle, what they can't. And we will not place any children in the home that we don't think that foster family able to handle the child. We have different level of trauma in our kids, especially working with domestic foster care because they came from neglect and abuse. We also looking for foster family willing to take those domestic children as well. So the more that the family share with us during the home study process, it's easy for us to match them with the child that we think that best fit in that home.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
I know you're going to connect with a lot of listeners through this program. It's incredible, BeBe.
Really.
Thank you so much.
So if people are interested in taking the next steps, BeBe, or even just learning more and kind of connecting with you, where should they go? Where should we send them?
Yeah, the first thing for them to do, they can contact me. I am the foster parent specialist, so I would be the one that gave them information. Normally, if the family that live in Richmond metro area, the first thing I do is I like to meet with them one-on-one because it's easier to have face-to-face contact with the family, and then I can answer any questions that family has or concern or reservation. And then sign them up for training. But now, since we branching out in the Norfolk area, so people can't just come in to meet with me. So I'm willing to, just go over the program with families on the phone and send them information. One is the fact sheets. One is telling you a different type of foster care programs that we have. We're not working with refugee only, but any children that enter the United States without birth family, we also provide them with a safe place as well. And then I will also give them information on how to become foster parents with us. So they can contact our website is www.cccofva.org and get all of our information, or contact me. At the end of this interview, I will have my emails and direct phone number for them to contact.
Perfect.
Wonderful.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, BeBe.
Yeah, this was incredible. Thank you for sharing, BeBe.
Yeah, and we're not only looking for forever home for our children. We also looking for, if somebody are not ready to do long-term foster care, we also looking for respite home for these children as well. Because, foster families, sometimes they do need a break. So if they plan something for the weekends, if they want to have date nights, we want to have foster family out in the Hampton Roads, Norfolk area, that if a family need extra help, we want to provide that support as well. Then, if you don't want to make long-term commitment, that would be something that you can get your feet wet before you commit long-term. We also looking for volunteer tutors and mentors, since I mentioned that most of our children, they don't speak English very well. So we want to provide extra support for them so they can start their school with some support before they can take on mainstream classes. Majority of our, like 99% of our children graduate from high school and move on to college.
That's incredible.
The reason for that is because enable for them to be in our program past 18, they have to be in school full time. And we have a lot of our children graduate from college, and most of them, we don't have a lot of funding to provide tuition for college. Most of our children get scholarship. A lot
That's
of them
incredible.
get full scholarship so they can, graduate from a 4 years school, college, so they can get a job and
yeah, sure.
And we also help our children after they pass 18 with a lot of independent living skill as well, especially if they move into the dorm and not living in the foster home. And that's where the mentors come in. There's a lot of our kids that in group homes or in independent living, so they don't live with a family. We want for them to have a connection with the community. So our mentors, just like big brother and big sister, and you can help them, give them an extra support. So, during the holidays or their birthday, they have somebody to call and take them out or take them to church or do fun things with them.
Incredible, BeBe. Well, we appreciate you sharing all of the wonderful things Commonwealth Catholic Charities does for not only international children, but children in the state as well. So thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
And a big thank you for listening. Foster Care Aware is all about spreading the word about how we can help the kids who are in care in whatever capacity works for you. Tidewater Friends of Foster Care is here to help support you through the journey. Whether you want to be a foster parent, volunteer, donor, or advocate, head on over to fostercareaware.org/nextsteps to learn more.